4 years ago, Laurie Miller and her husband bought a Honda Goldwing and have been on many trips exploring the country. Along the way, they've learned lessons about traveling, about life, and about humor. Laurie Miller, thoughts from the back of the bike.
Scott's and my first date was on a Honda Silverwing. After a short time of dating, we married and blended our families, upping the ante to 4 kids total. Trust me, the Brady Bunch did not prepare me for real life. We vowed we would not let the kids take over our lives, that we would make sure to spend quality time together as a couple while enjoying our kids as a family. Flash forward 17 years. We had moved to a new state, minus the motorcycle. The 3 older kids had moved on, a couple had moved back and left again. The youngest was halfway through college. Suddenly it occurred to us we had let the kids take over our lives, and though we weren't at Meatloaf's praying for the end of time, we were still 2 ships passing in the night. And really kind of wondering why we actually got married. One day my mom called me and told me that there was a Honda Goldwing for sale in Wilson and we needed to go check it out. So we did. After much hemming and hawing and inspection on Scott's part and pushing for my part, an American picker's coin tossed of heads we pay less, tails we pay asking price, we were the proud owners of a new to us full asking price Goldwing. The first thing we did was join the American Legion Riders, an awesome group of people. With this group, we had the honor and joy of serving our Aryan veterans, making fun preparing meals, riding in parades, and toy runs. And imagine my joy when I realized that riding motorcycles and eating out went together. So we joined these new friends in dinner runs and ice cream runs also. Flagged up and riding to honor a vet and a funeral is one of the things that makes my heart full. These men and women have served our country, and this is, why we serve them. After a trial run to Nebraska to visit family, we decided we were ready for the long, big ride. By this time, we'd bought a trailer to pull our camping gear, rounded up a good friend, and took off for North Carolina. We both were done many camping trips, so that part wasn't new. Figuring out how to pack a motorcycle and a trailer was something entirely different. Our first campsite was at a big camp, first trip. We noticed that the campsite across from us had a 5th-wheel camper with 4 slide-outs, an outdoor carpet full of more furniture than our entire house, and a satellite dish. While we were unpacking and setting up, the guy came across the road, kicked the tire of our trailer, and said, "Y'all have a lot of junk." I've learned many things while riding on the back of the bike. I literally cannot see what is in front of us. I can see the back of Scott's helmet. And I can see off to the side, but not in the front. So things like semis can sneak up on me. I'll be gawking off to the right, glance over to the left, and wham, there's a semi. These things are rather startling and cause the knees vice to kick in. This is a gremlin bell. The legend is it picks up evil spirits from the road and holds them in its bell and prevents the spirits from harming the riders. Once in Arkansas, Scott took a corner so fast we were leaning so far over the bell was hitting the road and ringing. Scott said maybe he took that corner a little hot. Because I can look at the phone and GPS while Scott drives, I'm also the navigator. Because I can't see in front of me, I have about 2 seconds to see the road sign before it passes us. Tennessee also has a wonderful motto, Explore Tennessee, which they achieve by not having road signs. When we travel, we don't have much of itinerary. Last year, we knew we wanted to go to the East Coast because Scott had a hankering for seafood, and I found a Dismal's Canyon in Alabama with glowworms. That was our itinerary. You would think with loose plans like that, it'd be hard to screw up. But sometimes, just like life, we get thrown for loops and have to go with the flow or cry. Rain while camping or riding is expected. Just as sure as to rain on a parade, outdoor wedding, or picnic. We are prepared for this with rain gear, but after 5 solid days of rain, the rain gear reaches saturation point. It just isn't fun anymore. So you can either get grumpy and go home, or you can camp someplace else different, dry off, watch the Weather Channel, and change direction. One time we stopped at a campground, but we had to put up and tear down the camp so many times the previous days, I suggested we see how much the cabins cost. We pulled up to the house, and I walked around the office, and this guy answered. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen Deliverance, but I swear I heard banjos in the background. We went back to the tent. Another time, we found a sweet campground that was back from anything. We were the only people in the section, very quiet, very pretty, huge mosquitoes, but that can be dealt with. We planned on staying there for 2 or 3 days, but had a masked invader that decided our motorcycle was his playground. He knocked my helmet to the ground and left footprints. We left. The only thing people don't realize when traveling in a car are the smells. Oh, you may smell a skunk for a few seconds, but that's about it. On the bike, you smell everything, good, bad, and evil. The year we went to North Carolina in May, we smelled honeysuckle and magnolia blossoms for a week, which balances out the dead things on the road. And of course, I never have a camera ready when we, or I should say I, because Scott tends to be looking where he drives, which I highly appreciate, see these things, so I have to describe them to Scott. However, if I see something really unusual or neat, we do stop. A sign for a hidden waterfall caught my attention, so we stopped. At first, we thought it was a small fall until we walked around the corner. Of course, being on the bike at life is like life, that sometimes things don't go as planned. Fortunately, I knocked this over in a parking lot, so no damage to us. However, we've had a few close calls on the bike, and as far as accidents, Scott always reminds me it's not if you're going to have an accident, but when. I'm hoping this counted as our accident. As a side note, I did not say bad words in front of the van load of kids that happened next to. I have complete confidence in Scott, or I wouldn't ride as many miles with him as I do. However, other things make me nervous: wind, other vehicles, slick road, and other drivers. But the times we've spent together talking and just being together while exploring have really changed how we interact. We're better at rolling with the punches and going with the flow and laughing instead of getting upset. We have seen and explored some of God's most beautiful scenery and man-made wonders while traveling: lakes, mountains, waterfalls, you name it. I've often questioned why I'm living in a flat, treeless, windy part of the country. Not that I don't think there's beauty here, but seriously. In the 4 years we've ridden the bike, we've put on 55,000 miles. We've ridden to 19 states and 1 other country. We've done many tourist things and many things that not everyone takes time to see. We've remembered why we've been married and have moved on to a new part of our lives, and the future looks full and exciting, and see where we go from here.